Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a full look at the brand new 2021 LEGO Looney Tunes CMF series. This CMF series is a brand new one that's coming out later this month on the 26th, I believe. There are 12 amazing characters here, each one with a brand new unique piece. This is set number 71030. And honestly, I love it. There are some really great iconic characters here. There are two characters who I wish were included who weren't, and two characters who were included who I wish weren't. And I'll get more into those in the final verdict. But for now, I'm going to go through each individual character and take a look, talking about what I think about them and just doing a general review. And then we'll come back at the end for a look at the packaging, the checklist, and then a final verdict. Alright, the first character we're going to be taking a look at is Lola Bunny, and I'm going to be trying to do my best to rate each of these characters on a scale from 1 to 5. This character, I think, is going to be a very, very high 4. Now, I don't necessarily agree with her inclusion. I think there were much more iconic and classic characters that should have been included instead, although I understand why she was included considering Space Jam is getting a sequel very, very soon. Her accessory, I think, is probably the weakest in the entire series, as she has a basketball that has no printing whatsoever. It's just a very, very simple orange sphere right there. But taking that away, honestly, it's so disappointing. Taking that away gives you a better look at her printing. She has dual molded legs right off the bat, and those look so cool. The top part is purple, and then she's got some very nice slanted printing there. Looks really, really nice, and you can see her skin underneath, and then some very nice pink sneakers. She's got a tank top there, and then her arms kind of continue onto the side, and she's got a tail printing in the back, and you can see the pink dual molding for the legs right there. That's some really clean and smooth printing, and it does not suffer from LEGO's typical printing problem. So I'm really impressed with those legs. Honestly, probably my favorite part in this set. In this series, it's just some really, really ingenious printing. The head itself is a brand new mold. Her ears are folded back in a ponytail, wrapped up with a purple hair tie. Interesting. I'm not sure why you'd wrap up your ears like that, but the front of the face is some very expressive printing. Love the face there, the nice open mouth and the eyes and everything. A really good looking minifigure. She also got some hair tufts at the top there, pretty cool. Honestly, I never saw Space Jam, so I don't really know too much about her, just her name and that she's been viewed strangely on the internet, to say the least. But she's a pretty good looking character. Again, not one I would have necessarily chosen, but still a pretty good inclusion. And honestly, the printing here is incredibly impressive. The real show stealer, however, has got to be Bugs Bunny. He has maybe the simplest printing and design of anyone in the series, but it's still, I think, probably the best character here. His accessory is a simple carrot, which is very fitting for this character. And then, honestly, there's not too much else here. His entire body is pretty much made out of this light bluish gray coloring. His back printing has nothing but a simple tail, which is a really nice inclusion there, by the way. His legs are completely plain except for some feet at the very bottom there. He's got some stomach printing and then a very happy, expressive face. Love the whiskers. The earpiece comes up very, very high. Really like that and looks really, really good. He's got some very nice eyes there and along with the nose. Honestly, character is very, very simple, but sometimes simple is the best, and he is so iconic and so perfect. The Bugs Bunny here is probably the best character just from iconicness alone, and I'm really glad he wasn't ruined by them trying to add too much or they didn't try to add too much to this character. And simple is best, and this character, I think, really benefited from just a nice basic design here. Definitely such a good-looking minifigure. There's not too much to review for this one, although I do appreciate the brand new head mold. I'm glad they didn't try to reuse a previous rabbit mold. Just, honestly, a fantastic character. The Wiley Coyote is our next character here. His accessory is going to be an anvil build made out of 4 different pieces, 3 of which you do get extras of in the set. But pulling that away, we do have a very, very nice minifigure here. His legs are completely plain brown. The only special part about them, some very nice toe printing on the bottom there. You can barely see it though because it's black on brown. Moving up, his torso has some very nice fur and tough printing there. Everything else is cast in brown. There is no back printing. However, there is a tail piece included, which you can put either up or down. I really like that. Was not something I was anticipating having here for this character, but it's a really good one nonetheless. The standout part of this character, though, has got to be that headpiece. That is a crazy mold. His nose really sticks out far, and it's probably the best part about this character. Like, it's so iconic. I also love how much dual molding was put into this to kind of get the hair tufts and the fur there on the top, then the black nose, and then all the ears and everything. The printing is a bit washed out on the inside of the ear, which is to be expected because of LEGO's printing problem, but still pretty good. The eyes are very nice as well. He looks very aggressive and upset. The only thing I think they could have added to this figure would be maybe some black printing to show his mouth. You can kind of see the lines where it would be, but it's kind of hard to tell, especially because it's, all one color. That's the only thing I recommend changing about this character. Other than that, though, I think it's 100% perfect, and my favorite character, one of my favorite characters in the series, because the Roadrunner and Wiley Coyotes Those episodes were always like the best for me. I always really enjoyed them. And speaking of the Roadrunner, here he is. His accessory is going to be a little bowl of birdseed, pretty apt for this character. And of course, he cannot hold it because his wings are, his hands are wings. He's got the chicken wing piece there, so no parts for minifigure hands or anything. The legs are a very nice, like, medium nougat, I believe, or dark nougat, with some nice split hooves there for his little, like, Roadrunner feet. The torso is a plain blue with some very nice darker blue chicken wings that match the coloring of his head. Now, there are 3 exclusive pieces for this minifigure. We have a very, very nice soft rubber tail cast in the same blue as his body on the back. That just slots over his legs underneath his torso. Mine did come horribly bent. However, I was able to just put it on the torso and it did straighten out pretty easily. The headpiece itself is dual molded. We have a light blue for the neck, and then a dark blue for the head and yellow for the beak. And this feather on top is actually a completely separate piece. There's a little micro pole connection on the top of the head, and then this plume can just slot into place. I do believe that plume is exclusive, although I wouldn't be surprised if we see it repeat in a Knights or Castle set at some point down the line. This character is honestly probably my favorite behind Bugs Bunny, maybe even in front of him, just because the Roadrunner was always one of my favorite characters, and the design here is impeccable. I wasn't necessarily sold on it at first because I always anticipated the Roadrunner being smaller and not necessarily like a minifigure. However, this character translates incredibly well into the minifigure form. Definitely something I'm incredibly happy to have here. All right, our next character is going to be Tweety Bird. The accessory here is a massive, massive hammer. This is a crazy-looking mallet right there. It's made out of a bunch of different pieces there. Not sure why the wood in the center is a different color. And we have a very nice bow staff holding it all together. But pulling that aside, we have a much smaller minifigure. Pretty simple. The printing is next to nothing. Has next to nothing here, but you don't need printing. Again, this is a very basic figure, but incredibly recognizable, specifically because of that head mold. The legs are a very nice darker yellow with a nice little split for the claws in the center there. The torso printing has only a tiny bit of a mark in the middle of the chest, and then on the back we have a little bird tail. The head itself is plain except for some eyes and eyelash printing, along with some very nice eyebrows. There's a tiny bit of tuft hair at the top as well. I love the little pudgy cheeks, and the beak, of course, is the same color as the feet, slightly different colored. I really appreciate that design. This character is great, and honestly is one of my favorites. Honestly, I'm going to say one of my favorites for pretty much every character. But, this is a great looking minifigure and really goes well with the very next character. And next we have Sylvester, Tweety's, natural enemy. We have a very nice cat here. Accessory is going to be a baseball bat, which he can try to attack Tweety with, although I think Tweety's massive hammer is going to beat out here over this simple baseball bat. Pulling that away, we have some very nice printing there. I do appreciate the feet. They are dual molded with white on the bottom there. And then there's some very nice, I like how they didn't go for like a flat little change. They did some very nice printing to get the tufts of fur going. Claws in the front, the chest, the white is looking very washed out, as per LEGO's printing problem, which I've noticed a couple times in this series. It's, a little off-white, but it still looks pretty good for the fur. There is no back printing, however, there is a tail piece included, one of the rubber ones, and it's got some very nice white printing at the very back there. Moving on, the exclusive head, I love the comically large nose, and of course, the white fur is very nice, molds well with the black, some very nice eyes, although the pupils for the eyes tend to kind of disappear into the actual black of the cat. I wish they kind of maybe did a full circle of white with the eyes in the center, did lines or something, because the more I stare at this, the more I just kind of see the black is just the fur and the eyes as being some very strange looking like Venom style crescents. You also have some printing on the inside of the ears up top. That is also the same washed out white that the chest shares, which is a bit disappointing, but to be expected. Overall, a great looking minifigure, and despite the fact that I'm ragging on it, incredibly iconic and pairs very, very well with Tweety Bird. Daffy Duck is here, and the only problem I have with this character is that Bugs Bunny didn't have a duck season sign. I think a duck season sign would have made this character so much better, even though it wouldn't have been for this character. But just be able to pair a rabbit season, duck season character signs up would have been so nice, because that was one of my favorite episodes. This character is very simple. We have a very nice set of orange and black dual molded legs. I don't believe we've seen that before. There's also a tail piece in black here, which is nice because we've only ever gotten that in probably white for the ducks in the Disney series. Plain black torso has some tiny bit of white tuft right there printed, and then a very nice head mold. I really, really like that giant beak. I just wish we could have maybe a different one where the beak's like twisted to the side or something, just like it always seems to do whenever this guy blows up in the episodes. Again, slight problem with the eyes. The kind of pupils kind of blend into the black head. Kind of weird. I haven't noticed that until I took a closer look here, but the more I think about it, the more I'm kind of like, yeah, that's kind of weird. The head tuft at the top, the fur is really nice. The sign is a very simple build. It just says rabbit season, and has some very nice printing on the top there. I love it. Like it's like tacked to a tree, even though it's on a little post there. Very nice design. Definitely appreciate that. Character itself is pretty simple. Not too much else to say about it. I really do like the design though. Daffy Duck is one of my favorite characters. Really iconic and translates very well into LEGO form. All right, Speedy Gonzalez is the next character, and I'm honestly surprised LEGO decided to make him. I thought they would have shied away from this, considering it could be considered probably racist or something. Like, I don't want to offend anyone or anything, but I'm just, from what I know about the cartoons and everything, I know it's been a while since I watched it, but it seemed always a little awkward, and it seems something that LEGO would have shied really far away from, just because, you know, they're LEGO and they have to have a pristine image. I'm really glad though, because I love this character, love those episodes, and it came out really, really well here. It's just, they included this character, so I don't know why they didn't include Elmer Fudd, because I think someone who just kind of shoots rabbits would be a lot more palatable, considering some of the other stuff they made in LEGO form, than a character who could be seen as potentially racist. Now, the character's accessories are very nice. We have 3 different cheese slopes included. They're all the exact same print, though. Very nice. I'm really surprised there's printing on it. I thought they would have just included yellow cheese slopes and said, cheese, there you go. But the Swiss aspect of it is very nice, something I was not expecting. So thank you to LEGO for that. This character has short legs that are dual molded. We have the very nice tan on the bottom there with some, you know, split toes and everything. We also have a brand new mouse tail piece, which has never appeared before. Really happy to have that here. Kind of sells the character. Only problem is, though, the front was not printed, so it's there's a gap there. It's kind of awkward. I guess you could explain that away as his shirt riding up before his pants, but it still looks kind of awkward. I wish they kind of painted over the top of that. The torso print is completely plain, except for a very nice red bandana on the front, nothing on the back. The hair hat combo, head hat combo, I guess, hair hat head combo. It's a very nice yellow sombrero nestled on top of this mouse head, and there's some tufts of hair coming out. All the colors do match very well. There's some nice printing on the inside of the ear, which is not washed out, surprisingly. I guess that kind of helps that it's a different color than everything else, so there's nothing to compare it to. The eyes and everything look really well, look really good here. They work much better than the other characters who black on black. Whiskers here are nice. Overall, it's a great character. One of my favorites. I always loved his episodes, and I'm really happy to have him here because, honestly, I was worried he wouldn't be included. All right, the Tasmanian Devil is next, and this character, probably my favorite in the series. I love this guy so much. Like, from the episodes and everything, he was always one of the best. Such a crazy and insane looking character, and they captured him here perfectly. Accessories are a pie and a drumstick because, you know, Tasmanian Devil's always got to eat and everything. We have some very nice printing on... Not much printing, but very nice printing. We have some toe printing on the bottom there. You can barely see it. There's a tail included here, exactly the same as the Wiley Coyotes. And then this very nice head mold actually comes down, if I can get it off, yeah. It's a very nice head mold that comes over the torso, so there's no printing on the front or the back there. But that massive mouth is crazy. I love the little nose there. And the eyes that kind of join into one is great. There's also a very nice whirlpool tile included. This is the exact same as Frozone. And there's one of the base pieces included on the bottom. So you can actually spin this. So let's take the Tasmanian Devil here. We're going to adjust the camera slightly. You can actually take this guy and spin him. And he's got his little nice spinning technique. And he's, you know, rotating around and grabbing all the food and causing a ruckus. Now, it works sometimes better than others. I don't know why it's falling a lot here. But yeah, there we go. Tasmanian Devil can spin around. And it looks fantastic. A really great inclusion here. I love this character. Always have. And that printing is insane. I love, like, it works so well. Nothing's washed out. The teeth are great. The tongue is great. The mouth is great. Whiskers and freckles and everything. Especially the whirlpool printing on this white tile. Very useful. A really great character. Probably my favorite in the series. And I know I said that before, but this time I really, really mean it. All right, Marvin the Martian is next. After him, we only have 2 more characters, so we're almost done. This character is very nice. The accessory here is going to be a very nice green-looking gun. Pretty cool, space laser. This character has an exclusive head mold and a brand new skirt piece. Very nice, kind of sticks straight out. Very nice, very green. Character has plain red torso and plain red legs. However, the feet printing here is quite nice. It's got some white sneakers just around the base there. Pretty cool. This head mold, I thought it was originally going to be 2 separate pieces, but it is one mold with 3 different colors on it. A very nice light yellow, dark yellow, and then green. And then this is the only character in the series to contain a minifigure head. There we go. And this head is just a black head with some eyeball printing there. Looks kind of funky when you take the helmet off, so I'm going to put it back on. But it's a really good looking character. Again, very simple on the printing. However, this is super iconic and looks just like the character from the show. Really happy to have him here, although honestly, I don't remember too much about Marvin. I'm really happy because very iconic, very recognizable, and comes together to make a great minifigure. All right, the second to last character is going to be Petunia Pig, and I don't recognize her at all. I don't know what she was in, I don't know what she's from, but I don't know anything about her, and she's the weakest inclusion in my opinion, simply because not recognizable. And I don't know why she was included instead of Elmer Fudd. I think Elmer Fudd would have been such a good character to have, so much better than this Petunia character here. But more on that in the final verdict. This character has some very nice accessories. We have a teapot and a teacup. Pulling those away, you get a better look at the printing there. This character has a very nice red skirt piece. Let's pull that away, though, so we can get a better look at the printing underneath. We have dual molded white, no, they're not dual molded. Those are printed legs. They're printed in skin color with some very nice white printing overlaid on top, I believe. I don't think that's dual molding. No, it doesn't look like it. And there's some very nice hoof and black print on the bottom there. Dual molded arms, very nice, yellow and tan. Those could be used for some very nice minifigures. Pretty basic shirt printing though. Just got a little collar at the top, nothing on the back. The character itself, the head mold, I believe is the exact same as Porky Pig, just with the hairpiece added, which makes it different. Some very nice red bows there. I'm glad the printing on that looks really nice. It might even be dual molded. The black hair is pretty cool, and I like the expressive facial expression. Looks kind of weird without the skirt, but it is what it is. And the skirt is unprinted, which is, I mean, it might be right. I don't really know. Honestly, I don't know too much about this character. Pretty basic, and now let's move on to the final one. And that's all, folks. Thank you, guys. No, we just got to take a look at this character and the final verdict, and then that'll be all, folks. But this character is so cool. I love Porky Pig. I do have one major problem. We'll take a look at that in a second. The accessory here is the sign that says "That's all, folks." Really cool. So glad to have that in LEGO. This is probably the best accessory in the series. Such a nice piece. Porky Pig is very cool. We got the very nice legs with the, again, the pig printing there. Very good facial print. Really nice jacket. Bow tie. Awesome. Where this character falls apart is the short shirt printing there. Printing skin color on blue does not work. It did not work. It looks faded. It looks really gaudy. The back printing is pretty good. Again, it doesn't look great. It looks a bit better. I love the pigtail and everything and the wrinkles in the shirt, but I think they should have printed this on the medium nougat color and then done like blue on top of it instead of blue plastic, skin color printing on top, because this just does not look good. I don't know if I just got a particularly bad one or not, but I'm not a fan here. It's really disappointing because I was super looking forward to the Porky Pig minifigure. And I'm just let down, man. This is the only character I have a problem with, like, print-wise. It just really doesn't work for me. But it's still a really great-looking character. I super appreciate the inclusion here. One of my favorite characters from the series. Looks really good, and I can definitely get over the printing problem. I just think LEGO really should have tried something else to fix this. And the fact they just didn't is really disappointing, especially for a $5 figure. But the fact the rest of the series is so good really does make up for it. So honestly, I don't mind. And real quick before the final verdict, I just want to take a look at the packaging. Bags, not boxes. And that is the best thing that I think could have ever happened here. I'm absolutely in love with this. I'm so glad. The packaging itself is pretty cool. I always find it interesting how they have almost all the characters included on the front. They just kind of skipped a couple ones. Pretty interesting, the ones they decided to include and then not include. Kind of cool. Limited edition 12, not too much to say. It's pretty basic. I just honestly wanted to say I'm so proud of LEGO for doing a bag, not a box, because if these characters were in boxes, I don't think I'd be doing this video right now. That's all I wanted to say for the packaging. Here's the instruction manual or checklist. It's got a ton of crazy looking details in the back there. Different arrows, designs, LEGO pieces. Some really, really gnarly stuff. We have just all 12 characters listed there. Minifigures and Looney Tunes in the top. Then on the back, we have Bugs Bunny in the little Looney Tunes hole. And then instructions to how to build Porky Pig, the Wiley Coyote, Tweety Bird, the Tasmanian Devil, and of course, the Roadrunner. Pretty interesting. Always confused as to how they decide which characters you need to know how to build and which characters you don't. Pretty interesting. Not too much else to say for the instruction manual here. Pretty good checklist, all things considered. This series definitely has benefited from the fact that every single character has at least one unique mold to it. Every character has a brand new head, and it's absolutely fantastic. I don't think this, honestly, it's like The Simpsons all over again, except so cool. All of the minifigures translate incredibly well here from the animation directly into physical form. I think this was a perfect partnership here, and I really hope we get a series 2 with some more characters that we missed, because I definitely believe there are different outfits, different characters or something that LEGO could very easily do in a future CMF series. And I'm just incredibly impressed at the quality of the figures, the fact that the printing here is fantastic. Like, they really went all out for the characters, and the problems I have with each one of them, minimal. Most characters I don't even have any problems with, and I'm just incredibly impressed and, happy with the fact that they translated so well. Okay, overall, I think I'd have to rate this series a 10 out of 10. Even though two of my favorite characters, Elmer Fudd and Gossamer, I'll toss pictures up on screen right now, because honestly I didn't know Gossamer's name, they weren't included, and weirdos like Petunia Pig and this girl, whose name I'm blank, Lola, sorry, I just don't think they were great choices, specifically because they're not as iconic, and they weren't really in, like, the classic animated stuff, to the best of my knowledge. I'm not sure about Petunia Pig there. Other than that, though, every other character here is perfect, and I wouldn't change a single thing about any of them. And honestly, when 10 out of 12 of the characters hit, and one of the two that doesn't hit is still really good, I'm talking about Lola Bunny right there, you know you really lucked out with a great CMF series. There are no real duds. Even the worst character, back there, Petunia, she's still pretty good, especially because she does kind of, partner up with Porky Pig there and everything. I'm not going to do a ranking for this series, mostly because I'd be here all day trying to figure out which characters are my favorite or not. These guys are just way too iconic to try to do that for. When this series comes out, or as soon as you guys are able to find it in store, I highly recommend buying all of them, or as many as you possibly can. There's a field guide I'll link at the end of the video here that I made yesterday that'll help you find each and every character. But honestly, every single one is fantastic, and I'm really thankful that this is a series in bags with 12 amazing minifigures, and everyone has a great accessory, and just everything about this is perfect. And I'm really thankful that LEGO didn't do something stupid here, and they actually made a very good, very successful CMF series. That's pretty much all I gotta say for this video, though, guys. I could sit here and I could gush about the Looney Tunes minifigures all day for hours upon hours, and I'm not going to do that. We already took a look at each individual character. I gave you my thoughts. I'd love to hear yours in the comment section down below. Which character here is your favorite? Which is your least favorite? And who do you think they should have included? And who do you think they should have not included? I'd love to hear from you. I wonder how similar your thoughts are to mine. Especially if you guys want Gossamer and Elmer Fudd, let me know. And that's all, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to tune in later for the very next video. I'll see you there, and have a fantastic and safe rest of your day.